In this video, I'm going to be teaching how to sew this off-shoulder top. I already have the pattern tutorials on my channel. This is the part 2 and it is the sewing videos. If you are interested in it, kindly watch till the end. So I used 2 yards of Ankara fabric and then 2 yards of lining. And then for the cap and then the body of the outfit, I used this corset lining to line the Ankara fabric before sewing. I fused it together and then I used this wadding for the cap. Sorry, this is the bra foam I used for the cap, and then this is the wadding I used for the cap. This is actually the hard one, and then the bra foam. So I'm modifying the bra cap at the moment. So I'm going to pin it down on this plain sheet and then add volume to the cap before cutting out. So I'm going to be adding 1/4 inch at that side and then add 1/4 inch at the other side as well. After that, I'm going to be connecting the points together with my curve. So this is the curve I'm using. Kindly watch out or make sure you follow the way I place the curve on it before drawing the line so that you get it well. So I'm repeating the same step at the other side, and then the next thing I'll be doing is to add 1/2 inch seam allowance all round. Note, if you have a zigzag machine, you don't have to add 1/2 inch at the center or the part in which you'll be joining the cap together. That is this exact part where I'm working at the moment. You don't have to add any allowance to it. If you have a zigzag machine, you just place them together and then sew or join them together. So I'm repeating the same step at the other side, and then I'll go ahead and cut it out. With the body of the blouse, I went ahead to fuse the Ankara fabric to the corset lining, the corset interfacing. Then I added 2 inch side seam allowance and then 1/2 inch in between where I'll be joining the seams. So with the pattern, I didn't extend the side of the back like I did for the front, so I went ahead to add it on the fabric before cutting out. So please don't forget to watch that part well and then add the allowance. So you measure the side of the front, whatever you get, you just add it to the back, and then that is all for it. Or you can measure from where the dart ends at the side seam, the dart allowance end at the side seam, and then just add the remaining measurements to it. So next thing I'm going to be doing is to join the linings together by pinning them down, and then I'll work on the Ankara fabric as well. So I'm joining all linings together at the wrong side. Note, if you are joining, make sure you join at the wrong side. So I'm done pinning the back. This is the front I'm working on at the moment, and I'm going to be doing same to the Ankara fabric. But then make sure you add your zipper extension. If you want zip, if you want to lace too, you can ignore that. But with this, I have a zip at the back, so I added 1 inch for the zip extension, and then I'll go ahead and then pin the back together like I did for the lining, and then I'll do same for the main body or the main fabric as well. After pinning, I'll take it to my machine and then stitch or join the seams together. So this is what I have after joining the seams together. Next, I'll be working on the cap. So I went ahead to cut it on the wadding, on my lining, and then on the Ankara fabric. Next, I'm going to be cutting it on the bra foam as well. So just place it on like I have done, and then pin them together before you cut out to prevent it from moving when you are cutting out. So you do same to the wadding. Make sure you pin it together before cutting out. So after cutting out, this is what I have, and then I'm going to be fusing all together minus the lining. So I'll be fusing the Ankara fabric to the wadding and then to the bra foam. So I'm going to take out the brown paper and then the lining from it before fusing them together. So this is my wadding and then the bra foam. Make sure you are matching them well before you press. If this will be difficult for you, make sure you make marks or number them so that when you are fusing them together, you don't change the sides or the shape of the bra foam. So after that, I'll go ahead and then fuse it together with steam. Make sure the iron is very hot with steam so that it will be able to fuse fast since both are thick. Next, I'll be fusing my Ankara fabric to red by adding a helmet. So I have a helmet, a big one, and then I'm going to cut the same shape of the cap and then just place it on top of it. This fuse on both, it's sticky on both sides, so you can put any side on and cut before fusing it together, and then that is all you need for fusing the bra caps. So at this point I'm done, and then I'm just going to join the center parts together before I stitch. After stitching, this is what I have, and then I'm going to trim off the excess from it because it's not needed and it's going to make the cap bulky if you don't trim it off. So I'll be trimming both caps before working on the other part of it. So after fusing and then cutting out, next thing I'm going to be doing is to create my boning channels. So I'm using this bias tape for my boning channel. So that is the center line. It's not actually clear, but you can see the masking tape have two sides folded in. So make sure the folded line is on top or exactly on top of the seam, and then you stitch that side on. So after stitching, you will have to, or you are going to turn it over on top of it and then stitch again. So after putting it on, make sure you are stitching exactly on the line that is folded in on the bias tape, and then after that you fold it on top like I'm doing, and then you top stitch the side and then stitch the other side as well. So I'm repeating the step again so that you can see what I actually did. So just place it on top like this and then place it on the other side. You can actually do it one by one, or you cut all at once before you sew. So like I said, the folded side of the tape should be placed on top of the seam, exactly on the seam, and then you open it up. You open it up and then stitch about a quarter. Stitch about a quarter in, and then you just fold it on top this way, and then you stitch on top of it again, and then you stitch on top of the other side too as well. So the channels depend on how many you want them to be. The number of channels you want. This is the wrong side and this is how it looks like. So I'm going to be adding more channels to it. You can decide to leave it or add more to it. So what I'm doing here is to play with the channels, or just place it on and see how I'm going to arrange them. So you place them on anyhow or any design you want it to be. You can just follow the step I'm taking. So what I did was to mark 1/4 inch from that side, and then at this side I marked 1/2 inch. The other side I marked 1/2 inch as well. So you can decide to place it on like this, or you can decide to place it on the other side. It all depends on you. So all I did was to place it on the 1/4 inch and then the 1/2 inch at the other side, which I just marked, and then I went ahead to sew. So before you sew, make sure you pin it down like I'm doing before you sew. So you're repeating the same steps we used to sew the other channels, and then that is all you need for your boning channel. This is what I have at the end of the day, and then I'm going to be adding my cap to it. So you make sure the seams are meeting. You pin the seams together at the center, and then you pin the upper parts together just like I'm doing. Make sure you pin the center, the upper parts together before you pin any other side together, so that you will get it right. So this is what I'm talking about. After pinning them together, now you can go ahead and then pin every other part in. You can see I have no gap. Everything is fitting in perfectly. So if you take your time and then draft it well, everything will fit in well. So after pinning this together, I'll go ahead and then pin the other side together before taking it to my machine and stitch. I'll be repeating the same step on the lining. So whatever step I did for the Ankara fabric, I'm doing same to the lining. After stitching, this is what I have. Then I'm going to be joining the lining to it at the upper part. So just place it on top like this. Make sure the seams are meeting. Then you stitch. And I'll be repeating the same step for the back as well. So just place it on and then stitch the upper part minus the armhole area. After that, make sure you trim any excess and then snip it so that turning becomes easy. So this is what I have at the moment. Next, I'm going to be putting my bone in. So make sure the bone is 1/2 inch shorter than the length of the boning channel before you cut out. So you are repeating this step on every other part of the boning channel, and then that will be all for the boning part. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to flip this down on top of it like this, and then stitch 1/2 inch all round the lower parts, and then I'll be doing same to the back as well. After stitching, I'm going to turn it out to show you what I have. Because there is bone inside, it's going to be a bit difficult turning out, but then this is what I have after turning out. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to put in my side seam allowance before I join the side. So just mark whatever allowance you added to the sides down. You can connect it with your ruler after before you stitch. So I'm repeating the same step on the other side at the moment before I join them together and then stitch. After that, I'm going to place the back on top of it this way and then pin them together, take it to my machine and stitch. So when pinning them together, make sure everything is in line. Make sure the lining is no longer than the Ankara fabric. So you make sure you take your time and then pin them together before you stitch. So after stitching, this is what I have. I went ahead to fold the zipper allowance in as well. Next thing I have to work on is the sleeve. So I'm going to be using this fabric for the sleeve. The length of this is about 15 inches and then the width is about 13.5 inches. This depends on how big or small you are. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to mark 1 inch down. 1 inch down, and then I'm going to connect the points together with my ruler. After that, I'm going to be marking 1 inch in as well and then connect it with my ruler as well. So this is what I have. Next, what I'll be doing is to fold that 1 inch at the upper part in, and then at the lower part I'm going to fold in 3 inches. So just make sure it is 3 inches, and then I'm going to stitch that part down as well. After stitching both down, the lower part, which is the 3 inches area, I came down by ½ inch from the 3 inches, that is 2.5 inches from the lower part, and then I stitched ½ inch down, which I'll be inserting my elastic. So remember, we left about 5.5 inches at the upper part for the sleeve. So the elastic is going to be 11 inches. That is for the front and then back. 5.5 times 2 is 11 inches. So that is what the length of the elastic is going to be. Next, I'm going to be placing the armhole area on my sleeve. Remember, I marked ½ inch in, so make sure it is ending at the ½ inch. That is the sewing allowance for the sleeve. So after that, just mark it down and then cut out. So this is what I have. I'll be repeating the same step on the other side of the sleeve as well. And then at this point, I'm just fixing my elastic in to show you what it's going to look like. So after fixing the elastic in, this is what I have. I did for both the upper part and then the lower part of the sleeve. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to just match the center parts together and then the sides of the sleeve together before I stitch. So yeah, pinning the sides together and then pinning the center seams together as well before you stitch. After stitching, I'll go ahead and then fix my zipper at the back, and then that is all for the sewing tutorials or sewing parts of this top. I hope you enjoyed these tutorials. Don't forget to like, comment, and share my videos. Bye.